Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Since you're handling data in your day-to-day operations, consider this your corporate training blueprint. We're going to cut right through the legal jargon of the Zimbabwe Cyber and Data Protection Act and translate it into a real, actionable strategy for data defense. You already know the basics of why privacy matters, so we're diving straight into exactly what's legally expected of you.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. First, we'll clarify the data controller's role. Then we'll hit mandated security measures, managing data processors, breach notification protocols, and finally, accountability and internal mechanisms. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The Data Controller's Role. Let's be clear right out of the gate. What we're talking about today isn't just some optional corporate policy. As you can see, the Zimbabwe Cyber and Data Protection Act, specifically Chapter 1207, lays down incredibly strict statutory mandates. Its whole goal is to build absolute trust and airtight cybersecurity across the nation. That means the rules we're unpacking today, they carry the full weight of national law.
So, what exactly is the data controller? Well, the Act defines it as the person or entity determining the purpose and means of processing data. Basically, if you're the one dictating how and why information is being used, you are legally the active guardian of that privacy. Think about your actual daily workflow. If you decide to pull customer emails for a marketing blast, or you're holding on to employee details for payroll, you are the one in the driver's seat. You determine the purpose and the means. That makes you the data controller.
Now let's look at Section 13. This part actually distills your massive operational duties into a few core, absolutely non-negotiable rules for handling data. You've got to process it lawfully and fairly. You can only collect it for explicit purposes, so no secret secondary uses down the line, right? It has to be adequate and relevant. Don't collect what you don't actually need. Plus, it needs to be accurate and kept up to date, meaning you have to erase or fix bad data immediately. And finally, you can only store it for as long as necessary. Absolutely no indefinite data hoarding allowed.
Moving right along to Part 2, Mandated Security Measures. This is where we build the shield. Section 18 directly tasks you with creating a proactive defense against unauthorized access, alteration, or even just negligent loss. Notice the specific phrasing here, technical and organizational measures. That is absolutely crucial. It means security isn't just an IT problem anymore. Sure, you need firewalls and encryption, the technical stuff, but you also legally need the organizational side. We're talking staff training, access logs, clean desk policies. You have to prevent the malicious attacks for sure, but also everyday human error.
Because as a data controller, you're not just locking digital doors, you have to actively guarantee what I call the holy triad of data protection: security, integrity, and confidentiality. Standard IT protocols might just focus on keeping the service from crashing, but the Section 18 triad demands way more. Security keeps the data from being destroyed. Integrity means making sure nobody has unlawfully tampered with or altered it. And confidentiality? That ensures only authorized eyes ever actually get to see it. It is the whole shebang.
Which brings us to Part 3, Managing Data Processors.
So what happens when you outsource things? Well, those third-party vendors become your data processors. The Act is crystal clear on this. A data processor acts strictly on your behalf and under your instruction. It could be a cloud storage provider, an external payroll company, or a marketing agency. If they touch your data, they're your processors. But here's the kicker. The legal burden for their security measures, it still traces right back to you. You literally cannot outsource your legal liability.
Because of that, whenever you engage a processor, you have to follow a strict Section 18 pipeline. You absolutely cannot just hire a vendor on a handshake. Step 1, you have to actively vet them, appointing a processor with sufficient technical and organizational guarantees. Step 2, ensure their strict adherence to those security measures. And Step 3, lock it all down in a binding written contract. If your vendor suffers a breach and you don't have that contract in place, guess where the regulatory spotlight is going to point? Right at you.
But even after you've built the ultimate shield, we have to pause and ask the worst-case scenario question. What happens if our security actually fails? Because let's face it, even the strongest defenses can be compromised by a highly sophisticated attack or just an unfortunate internal error.
And that dramatic pivot takes us to Part 4, Breach Notification Protocols.
Under Section 19 of the Act, we go from building the shield to sounding the alarm. And this right here is the absolute most critical number you must remember from this entire explainer. 24. You have exactly 24 hours to act. Just let that sink in for a second. 24 hours.
If any security breach affects the data you process,
The legal countdown starts the exact second it happens, and you must notify the authority within a 24-hour window. No exceptions. And by the authority, we're talking about the Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority, who acts as the data protection authority in Zimbabwe. So if a company laptop gets stolen, if a server gets hacked, or even if someone accidentally emails sensitive info to the wrong external list, the clock starts ticking. You do not have the luxury of waiting for some week-long internal investigation. You must notify the authority within 24 hours.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Part 5, Accountability and Internal Mechanisms. To bring this whole training full circle, we look at Section 24. This section demands that you don't just quietly follow the rules. You must have the necessary internal mechanisms specifically designed to prove your compliance to both the data subjects and the authority at a moment's notice. It is totally insufficient to just say, hey, we care about privacy. You have to actually show it. We're talking documented policies, clear consent logs, solid vendor contracts. If anyone questions your practices, those internal mechanisms are exactly what will provide the hard evidence that you're operating lawfully.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to take back to your desks. Are your department's internal mechanisms truly ready for a sudden data audit tomorrow? Honestly, review your data flows, double-check those vendor contracts, and make absolutely sure your entire team knows exactly what to do in that crucial 24-hour window if a breach does happen. You are the data guardians, right? It's time to make sure your shield is incredibly strong and your alarms are locked and ready.